Ladies and gentlemen, in politics, nothing happens out of mere coincidence. Everything in politics is normally well designed, well scripted, and executed to achieve a specific political objective. Yesterday, news emerged in this country that Charity Ngilu, the Kitui governor, was in talks with David Musyoka, who is the Jubilee aspirant for the same seat, to drop in favor of David Musyoka so that Charity Ngilu could move higher and take over the position of the chief cabinet secretary, which Raila Odinga had actually offered to Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka.
That we are both candidates of Azimio La Umoja. He's running as governor of Kitui on Jubilee ticket. I'm running on NAC ticket, and all those two parties are in Azimio. The other party is UDA is our competitor, and the other party is Wiper. And the Wiper has disengaged and said that they are not part of Azimio. So we, the two candidates, gubernatorial candidates for Azimio, must continuously consult. We are not enemies at all. We first and foremost want to make sure that we are going to win the national government, and we are both campaigning for Raila Odinga to be the president of the Republic of Kenya. And if I become the governor of Kitui, or he becomes the governor of Kitui, we will be in the same government. So that is what we are saying. I think that is not
but I do not hear any contradiction
at all.
Because I agree 100%.
Oh, good.
With what the governor says.
So here, when we have been there before, and we have never been enemies. He was an honorable senator before, and still is.
And in my view, if you ask me, that news was intended to achieve a particular political objective. And one of my friends, Jim Boni, from Migori, the son of Nyatike, Wodelena, made some interesting post also over the same. Developing story, talks initiated to have Kitui governor be Charity Ngilu drop her gubernatorial bid in order to take up the position of prime minister in Azimio government. Actually, that was the talk of the town within the political circles yesterday. Which begs the question, do you think Raila Odinga can actually win the presidency in the August general election without the support of Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka, especially after the nomination of Karua as his running mate? Do you think Raila Odinga can win? In this video, I want us to look why personally I strongly believe that Raila Odinga should now drop Kalonzo Musyoka and appoint Charity Ngilu as the chief cabinet secretary in his government. Before we get into all those details, in case you are watching this channel for the first time, please click that subscribe button now. To the subscribers, I want to continue. Thank you guys for your continued support. Now, let us get back to the main issue. Can Raila Odinga win the presidency without the support of Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka? That's the question. Because already, Kalonzo Musyoka is not going to be Raila Odinga's running mate. Kalonzo Musyoka maintained that Raila Odinga is not going to win the presidency, cannot win the presidency without his support. And therefore, according to Kalonzo Musyoka, Raila Odinga was obligated to nominate him as the running mate. But Raila Odinga dropped him for Karua. And of course, you can feel the change already. Let us begin by looking at why, before we get into why I strongly believe Raila should drop Kalonzo and appoint either Charity Ngilu or Professor Kivutha Kibwana. Let us begin by looking at why Raila Odinga actually dropped Kalonzo Musyoka. Why do you think Raila Odinga dropped Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka? Personally, I've always expressed on this platform severally that I have a soft spot for Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka. That if Raila Odinga was not in the equation and Kalonzo Musyoka is on the ballot with all these other presidential candidates, my vote would go to Kalonzo Musyoka. I've always held that view. But why do you think Raila Odinga dropped him? Raila Odinga dropped Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka because, number one, the Mount Kenya equation. Politics is dynamic. It keeps on changing and the parameters keeps on changing. The larger Mount Kenya region is not going to produce a presidential candidate. And they are the largest voting bloc in this country. So it means, therefore, that since they are not going to produce a presidential candidate, that voting bloc had to be targeted. Raila Odinga is looking at getting a substantial vote from the larger Mount Kenya region. For him to do that, he needed to have someone from the larger Mount Kenya region as his running mate. And that's why he is settled on Martha Karua. And of course, Kalonzo Musyoka has that 1.6 to 2 million solid voting bloc, which Raila Odinga can easily get from the mountain as long as he can get 40%. So the Mount Kenya equation is one of the reasons why Raila dropped Kalonzo Musyoka. The second reason is the ticket. Kalonzo-Raila ticket is now stale. You know, Kalonzo failed with Raila. Again, they failed together. What has changed? Either Raila Odinga was not the right candidate or the pairing was not the best one. So Raila Odinga needed a new ticket. And that's why immediately after the election and immediately after the handshake, he started showing signs that he was not going to go into the elections with the Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka. Number three, there was that NASA agreement. That small matter of NASA agreement is small, but it was also big. Raila Odinga entered into coalition arrangement with Wiper and ANC and Ford Kenya. That agreement was binding. And because of their erratic nature, Kalonzo Musyoka, Weta, and Mudavadi decided to pull out of NASA agreement. So by pulling out of NASA agreement, they relieved Raila Odinga of that coalition agreement. So that coalition agreement is also something which made Raila Odinga to drop Kalonzo Musyoka. Maybe there were other reasons. But Kalonzo Musyoka is actually a good running mate. If, for example, William Ruto were to pick Kalonzo Musyoka, I think he would be ahead today because he would have the Kamba voting bloc. And then even if Raila were to make progress in the larger Mount Kenya region, the impact would not be big. Why is Kalonzo Musyoka important in the political equation in this country? Two reasons why Kalonzo is so important. Number one is that Ukambani voting bloc. You know, 2 million or 1.5 million votes is a serious bloc. The question is, after the flip-flopping, whether Kambas are still with him. But the Kamba voting bloc is so significant, politically speaking, in this country because they determine Nairobi, to some extent Mombasa, those the three Ukambani counties, several members of parliament. So that voting bloc is significant. So Kalonzo is actually very important. Number two, the idea of rerun. If Kalonzo Musyoka is going to keep to his word and throw his hat in the ring and contest for the presidency, I can assure you we are likely to have a rerun. Raila Odinga would not want a situation where the elections will be decided at the rerun. Ruto would also not want a situation where the elections will be decided at the rerun. So Kalonzo Musyoka is significant. But can Raila Odinga win the presidency without Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka? In my view, if you ask me, Kalonzo has now very limited options. And the other day I explained that the only option he has now is to join Raila Odinga. But if he's not going to join Raila Odinga, if Kalonzo Musyoka is going to run for the presidency, then Raila Odinga can then decide to go and give the position, offer that position to Charity Ngilu, my first choice. Then if Charity Ngilu is not available, then he can persuade the Makwiny governor, Professor Kivutha Kibona, to take over. But I strongly believe that based on the way Kalonzo Musyoka has behaved thus far, Raila Odinga should offer that seat to Charity Ngilu. Why? Number one, Martha Karua has already created a momentum. One thing William Ruto and his brigades are praying for is that momentum to slow down. anything that can slow down Martha Karua momentum is going to be a plus for William Ruto and his brigades. If Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka were to join the Azimio la Umoja today, the truth of the matter is that Kalonzo Musyoka is going to be the center of attraction. The attention is going now to move from Martha Karua to Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka. And because politics is politics, even William Ruto and his brigades will try so hard to draw that attention from Martha Karua to Kalonzo. And Kalonzo and his nature will definitely slow down that momentum. So for Raila Odinga to sustain the momentum, Martha Karua momentum, he needs a new guy who is Charity Ngilu, another woman being brought on the table. That momentum will kick off like a rocket. So number one. Number two, if Raila Odinga were to allow Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka back and offer him this chief cabinet secretary, I don't think Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka would put the effort he would have put if he were to be nominated as a running mate. I'm saying this because there's the potential of internal sabotage. Someone like Mutula Kilonzo Jr., someone like Daniel Manzo are clearly working for Ruto. So if Kalonzo were to come and they were to join Kalonzo Musyoka, what would stop them from creating internal sabotage? Basically, they'll come up with other demands. You know, Kalonzo Musyoka has brought all the demands on the table. All the demands, including stating that he was supporting Raila Odinga unconditionally. He has placed unnecessary demands which cannot be met. So by allowing Kalonzo back again, they can create that internal sabotage. What Raila Odinga doesn't need at this hour in point is to create internal sabotage. It's already enough. Raila Odinga had decided to move on with the 3 Ukambani governors. When Kalonzo Musyoka came on board, the first demand is that these 3 governors were not going to be part of Raila Odinga's campaign. At some point, Raila Odinga kept them at bay. Alfred Mutua had to leave. Professor Kivutha Kibwana stated that if Kalonzo, because Kalonzo doesn't want him, he was taking a low profile. He's already taken now front seat already. But if Kalonzo were to come again, Kalonzo might come back with those demands, the zoning. And some of these governors will not allow. So the possibility of creating internal sabotage are high.
Nilisikia na mimi imenipatia kunizunisha sana, ni kusema ya kwamba condition nyingine ilikuwa imepeanwa ni ya kwamba wakiwa wanakuja ndani ya Azimio, na Azimio la Umoja means bringing everybody together, ni kusema condition ingine ni toa Governor Kivutha Kibwana, toa Ngilu, toa Mutua, toa Waita. Mimi nauliza ni kiongozi kutoka wapi anaweza kutoa kusema watu watolewe?
Number 3, I think the Raila Odinga support base no longer trust Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka. So whether he comes, whether he doesn't come, I don't think it will matter now. And the other thing which I know is that Ukambani as a voting bloc are also now not very happy with the Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka. They are now deciding that either they are going with Ruto or they are going with Raila. Even if Kalonzo were to run, I don't think it will have much impact. So, because the support base, Raila Odinga core support base, is no longer trusting Kalonzo Musyoka, I don't think his coming on board will affect Raila Odinga in a very big way. So Raila Odinga, I'm not the right guy to advise Raila Odinga. He can decide to bring him on board. But I think the support base, even on this platform, I can ask you by a show of hands, how many of you believe that Kalonzo Musyoka is sabotaging Raila Odinga? Several people will say yes. Number 4, the 2022 general election in this country, this election is actually a 2-horse race between President Uhuru Kenyatta, between the Deputy President William Ruto and Raila Odinga. It's a 2-horse race. And being a two-horse race, it means those who are supporting Ruto will support Ruto, whether Musyoka comes or not. Those who are going to support Raila will support him or not. Already, the registered political parties are showing signs that this guy plays some agreements, signed some agreement with Azimio. So it's stuck there. What if tomorrow you wake up and Kalonzo says that, okay, I'm going to take up the position, but I'm not going to support publicly. I'll wait for the election day, but just ask my people to support Raila. You see, the truth of the matter is that the 2022 general election is a two-horse race. So if Kalonzo will support Raila, or whether Kalonzo will support Raila or not, it's important, but I don't think it's that necessary. And number 5, by bringing Charity Ngilu on board, Raila Odinga is going to bring another woman on the table. That will be a plus for the ticket. The women in this country are already excited at the potential of Martha Karua becoming the first woman deputy president of the Republic of Kenya. It was covered internationally. Now, by having Ngilu now as the chief cabinet secretary in Raila Odinga's government, remember this chief cabinet secretary, according to what Raila Odinga is offering, will coordinate the affairs of the government. It's a very powerful position. Then it would mean we are going to have a president, Raila Odinga, vice president, deputy president, Martha Karua, and the chief cabinet secretary, the third powerful individual, in the name of Charity Ngilu. So the women vote. If there are some other women who are still talking, oh, so you Martha, only one woman, bringing Ngilu would cement that women voting block. And that ticket would be more attractive than any other ticket. And number 6, sorry, which is my last point, is that by naming Charity Ngilu to that position, Charity Ngilu, Professor Kivuva Kibwana, and the Azimio team in Ukambani will now have something to counter Kalonzo Musyoka. You know, the Ukambani region are supporting Kalonzo Musyoka because Kalonzo Musyoka has the potential of becoming the president. If Kalonzo Musyoka will not be nominated by Raila Odinga, it would mean a very simple thing. If he's not going to be nominated, he's not going to be the president. He's not going to be anything. So which means the offer which Ngilu will be given will be the highest in Ukambani. So that alone will sway. Who thought that the Kikuyu nation would be swayed by the nomination of Martha Karua? The truth of the matter is that the Ukambani region will be swayed by that appointment. And Ngilu and this group can now focus fully on how to win Ukambani to Raila Odinga's side. I don't know what you think, but that's my take. In case you are watching the channel for the first time, please take a second or two, click that subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. Thank you guys, and please, may you have a good day. Bye-bye.